Shoo! Hey, it's a surfing wave. Hey, fellow artists, I bet this has happened to you. You have wavy watercolor paper. Oh my gosh, such a pretty painting. I love it. I just can't wait to frame it. Look at how warpy. How am I gonna frame that? I fixed this problem for you. Let me show you. Even after a few layers of painting, this will happen to you. I don't know about you, but I find it a pain to finish my painting when I've got warped paper. No, I didn't stretch it first. Okay, but in all seriousness, it's not cool to have wavy paper when you want to finish a beautiful painting of yours. How can you do this? I got it. It's really not a problem. You can totally fix this. Grab your stapler, grab a clean bucket of water and a brush. That's all you're gonna need. Oh, maybe some tape. In this video, you'll see me stapling the painting to gator board. Gator board is similar to a foam board. It's very light and it's also water resistant, so it won't warp or anything like that after it gets wet. Now, you don't need gator board to use this technique. Any kind of board that you can staple into, such as a pine board, will be fine. I just wouldn't recommend using a pine board all the time because they do warp. Here's a board that I actually used for about a year before it started to warp. This is actually a tree that unfortunately we had to cut down off from our property. So I thought it was really cool to reuse it, repurpose it. However, I like to use a lot of water when I do watercolors. So it started to warp and I really can't use it anymore. But I kind of save it for nostalgia. I think maybe I'll paint on it or something. What do you think? I love it. This is the other side. So, but you can really see how it's warped. So I decided to leave the bark on it. I thought it was just really cool. All right, enough chat. This is how I fixed my ocean landscape super warpy paper. Let's get to it. This was on my Arches pad. It's 140-pound watercolor paper, and you can kind of see it dried and it is buckling a little bit. Not that bad. There's definitely a buckle. Kind of looks, you can kind of really see it there. Not laying flat at all. So it's just kind of biting me. I'm gonna leave the tape on because I want to keep those edges. It'll be really hard to redo the tape exactly and the edges there. But what I'm gonna do is wet the back of it and staple it. Yes, staple it to my gator board. Now, this is called stretching the paper. And usually you do this before you paint on it. But what you do is you wet the paper, staple it so when it dries, it shrinks and it tightens and it stretches it, right? When it dries. So what I'm going to do is then carefully, so I don't have any water seep through. What I'm going to do is get some water on the back of it. And I'm careful because I don't want it to seep through too much on the edges, I mean. So I'm getting close enough to where it's saturated, but not puddling. Just in the middle a little bit. And it's going to take a minute to absorb, right? This is pretty thick paper, or it's 100% cotton. So it's going to take a minute to absorb. But when it will lay flat when it's totally wet. Just getting it a little in here. And here. Okay. There we go. All right, starting to flatten out a little bit now, or really absorb. One more for good measure. So now it's really wet. Turn it over. Because it's wet, it's just going to kind of stick to the gator board anyway. So it's there, it's holding there. So I'm going to tape it down with 1/2 inch artist tape. And this is just so it stays down for when I staple it. And I am going to get, I am going to re-wet the front of it, but not as much as I did when I did the base layers, the first layers. Now I'm gonna staple the paper so it lays flat, and I'm actually gonna staple it on this tape. I have a little lip of the paper there, so I have my stapler, okay, just a regular stapler, just regular staples. Then I'm going to, and this way the paper will stay down. See it buckling a little bit here. I'm gonna just push it this way. Staple it. So that looks a lot better too, right? I mean, that looks a lot better for me. It may be hard to tell on the camera, but it just looks better when it's flat. Imagine that. So you can see now, see how flat it is? So voila, we stretched the paper. So now I'm gonna do my second layers. So stay tuned. If you like this video and like to see more, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps me make more for you. Thank you. Carefully remove the staples. I like to use a stapler remover, and I'm taking my time removing them. So that's why I'm speeding it up here. And there's that glorious white border here taking off the tape. And this is great artist tape that you can really only get on Amazon. So I put the link in the description. There we go. A flat painting. Yay! Frameable, beautiful paper. I just love it when it's flat like that. If you'd like to see the final layers of me doing this ocean seascape, that video will be coming out. So make sure you subscribe. And there are also videos how I do the water and the ocean right here that you'd want to watch. Thanks for watching, fellow artists. Happy painting!